animal types of hieroglyphs. And even the Bible in 2 Samuel and in Judges talks about lion-headed men, talks about men with 6 fingers, 6 toes, talks about Goliath. We read about Goliath in Sunday school.
Yes.
But nobody ever, in fact, Goliath was not a giant. That's a misnomer. It says he was a son of a giant. So he was even smaller than his daddy. But it all gets regulated to the realm of science fiction or storytelling, you know. Mm-hmm. But in truth, these creatures actually existed. That's how the pyramids were built. That's how these megalithic structures that we find around the world that have been cut to such precision we cannot duplicate it today. These were the kind of creatures that did that.
All right, so hold on here, sir, mm-hmm. for a moment. What is the connection between these hybrid creatures and the building of the pyramids?
Well, the building of the pyramids, I believe, were done by these hybrid creatures. Half human, half fallen angel.
And your research is based on what, sir?
Well, it's very simple. If you look at even the 3 normal pyramids that people mm-hmm. are most familiar with, look at the size of the entranceways, the hallways that run through them. They're built for people larger than a human person. And it's quite obvious that the pyramids were reused by the Egyptians, but probably were not actually built by them. And then you have these megalithic structures all over the world that the technology behind them seem to be similar, but yet can't be duplicated today. You find the same thing in South America. You go in underneath these pyramids in South America, and they'll be 13, 14 feet high mm-hmm. walkways inside of them.
Now, when you say
mm-hmm.
the technology, what technology are you talking about, sir?
Well, technology probably that's beyond what we have today. See, people tend to think that before the flood of Noah that mankind was running around in caves. Mm-hmm. But statisticians that I have read are indicating that in their belief there were almost or more people on the earth at the time of the flood than there are in the earth today. Now, if that's true, you could not sustain a 7 billion population without refrigeration, communications, railways, electronics. So the pre-flood people were probably had quite a bit of technology that we don't know about.
So where did these people come from, and where have they gone?
Well, the flood wiped them out, but the giants popped up again just before Israel went into Canaan land. They were seen again. In fact, there were tribes of them. Several of them, the Zimzumerians, the Hittites, and so forth, were all giants. And that brings sort of to the question about how does that tie in to today? Well, if these fallen angels mated with humans in Genesis, the 6th chapter, they were wiped out. They mated with humans again just before Israel went into Canaan land. And Israel, by the way, the Israelis, the Hebrews, were told to kill every man, woman, and child. And that's the reason, because they were hybrids. Then, if that happened then, it is possible, and I say that we are now in this time, that this is beginning to happen again. Now you say, what would be the signs and what would this look like? I think this is what's happening in the UFO abduction phenomenon. You have women who are being taken at night, abducted. Their reproductive organs are manipulated or messed with. They're put back. And the statistics say that they're abducted again a second time and something is taken from them. Now, that sounds a lot to me like, quote, the star gods, as they called themselves to the Mesoamericans, have returned. And since 1948, the UFO phenomena has increased proportionally. And I think that's what we're seeing, is we're seeing a return of the days of Noah. And we will see a time that there will be, quote, an alien disclosure. And we will see these, quote, aliens in the open. But what they will be demonic entities, fallen angels, and hybrids.
Let me ask you this.
This will be the days of Noah.
Let me ask you this then, sir.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a God in heaven, and if we are created in his image and his likeness, why then would he allow this to happen? If he's our father, because I'm a father and I wouldn't let this happen to my children.
Well, I could ask the same rhetorical question about why does God allow sin? Why does he allow pain or hurt?
Oh, there's good questions, because I can't understand it. I think that, when you talk about theology, that theology is lopsided in many ways. And I've often asked if humanity has outgrown theology.
I think 1,000 years ago, the Latins coined a phrase, and the phrase was Deus absconditus. And I don't think today it's been outdone, and it literally translates to mean a hidden God. We know of God from what God reveals of himself, and it's just quite obvious he does not reveal everything. We have 2,000 years ago God coming to earth, the Creator becoming the creature in Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some understanding of God from Jesus, because he says, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. But it still leaves a lot of questions unanswered. He never answered why evil existed. Certain questions like that he never asked, never answered.
Why wouldn't he answer them?
Why
wouldn't he answer?
I have no idea.
Maybe he didn't know the answer.
No, I think he knew the answer. I think that there's some things, it's like in theology we have a term we call predestination and free will. And you literally can take one side or the other and you can argue it all day long.
Yeah.
And each side be absolutely correct.
You see, we've got to take our news break, sir. But I'd just like to give you my interpretation of free will. It's the great escape clause. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
Playing a fool's game, hoping to win, and telling those sweet lies and losing again.
My name is Rob McConnell, and I would like to tell you about a very special lady that I have the pleasure of knowing, and that's Miss Sylvia Anthony. Sylvia Anthony believes the golden years are a time to gear up and get busy, not relax and take it easy. She has faced many hardships in her 84 years, but they have made her stronger and more determined. As founder and president of Sylvia's Haven, a shelter for women and their children near Boston, Sylvia has helped transform over 1,086 lives in the past 27 years, not only with housing, but also providing direction as to where they can go to develop the earning skills they want and need to live free from difficult domestic situations. Sylvia's Haven is everything to Sylvia Anthony, even calling it her magnificent obsession. Women who qualify for the program at Sylvia's Haven receive assistance via guidance counselors to find the appropriate job opportunity. Women and their children may remain at the housing for up to 2 years. At the end of this time, or sooner, a woman who is successfully employed and has an apartment or home may leave Sylvia's Haven to begin a new and independent life. Now this is where you come in to help make Sylvia's dream into a reality. Sylvia's dream is to have a Sylvia's Haven in every state to help as many women and their children as she can, and to help this dream come true. A crowdfunding site has been established which can be accessed at www.sylviasdream.org. Now that's www.sylviasdream.org. With your financial help and support, Sylvia Anthony will continue to help those in their time of need, not only in the Boston area, but with her dream of having a Sylvia's Haven in every state of the United States. Your help is needed to make Sylvia's dream come true. Please visit and give at www.sylviasdream.org. Once again, www.sylviasdream.org. And remember, the only difference between a dream and reality is just doing it. We need your help to make Sylvia's dream come true. Visit www.sylviasdream.org. Once again, www.sylviasdream.org. For the X Zone Radio TV show and the X Chronicles newspaper, I am Rob McConnell.
This is the X Zone Radio and TV show on the X Zone Broadcast Network and our worldwide broadcast affiliates. If you have a question for Rob McConnell or his guest, or if you have had a paranormal experience, call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 0, or email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. And on our major social media sites, our address is X Zone Radio TV.
Well, I just got back from Roswell, where the aliens have been. And if you ask the feds the cause, well, they'll only lie again. Now I'm hunted by the gumshoes, and I'm wanted by the cops, 'cause they think that I might be the guy making circles in the crops. And I know that there's a conspiracy from the voices in my head. Elvis lives, that's clear to me. It's McCartney who is dead. And if the Mars man should come again and take me, I will go. I will take a trip on their rocket ship. God bless the UFO. JFK this message, it's the Cuban Army's fault. And I know that Dave Koresh is alive inside a vault. We've seen reports in papers of a guy who knows about a car that runs on chewing gum, but the Arabs rubbed him out. And we loudly warn that America is badly unprepared. With the Cold War through, we need something new that can get you good and scared. You wonder just who is warning you of conspiracies today. We're the ones who fill the rumor mill. We are the CIA.
Exonation Dr. C.K. Quarterman is our special guest this hour. He's the author of Fallen Angels, Giants, UFO Encounters, and The New World Order. And he also has the DVD entitled Fallen Angel, Giants, UFOs, and Prophecy. His website is www.ckquarterman.com. So, based on what we were talking about in the first half of the interview, Doctor, it seems that we, the people, really don't have the full story on what is really in the Bible or its true translation.
Well, I was thinking about this during the break because the advertisement was talking about vampires. Mm-hmm. And while I ate dinner tonight, I was watching a little boy on the table up ahead of me who was drawing a picture of a vampire. I want to read this to you out of Genesis, the 6th chapter, just the 4th verse. Mm-hmm. It says, there were giants. Remember, I gave you a Hebrew word for that. In the earth in those days, and also after that, okay? I.e., that means it happened again.